Welcome to our 12 Days of Christmas nail art series featuring me, Talia, from Talia's Nail Tales.
And me, from Sarah's Nail Secrets. We had so much fun doing the series last year that we're doing it again with 12 new themes.
Be sure to check the description box below for links to last year's videos. Let's get started. Welcome to day 12, everyone. I can't believe this is the last day, but it is. And day 12 was themed icicles. So I wanted to try to do something a little bit different. I actually ended up doing the icicles about 4 different times, and you guys are going to see my journey to get this end result here. This was not my original vision for these nails. I did want to make sure to include that not all the time do ideas work out that you have for nails. So anyway, let's jump into the video and I'll show you guys how I did these on my mom. It's going to be a little bit of a watch me work at the beginning and then tutorial at the end. So you guys can see who's in.
Hi.
This piggy pants here. Do you love reading the comments on your videos?
Oh, I love reading the comments. Some people love me, some people think I'm very picky, but that's okay. Can't please everybody.
Anyway, we're here for icicles today, day 12, and my mom has some interesting ideas. I might listen to 1 or 2 of them. Which you guys will have to let me know if you want my mom picks her own nails video. I think that would be a fun one to do on you next time. I loved this with the scenery in the background. And then these, but I don't want to do a sunset. Do you think it needs a sunset?
No, I don't. I think as long as it's got a background that contrasts with the icicles.
So I do like the kind of sugar effect on these.
I do. I like the contrasting dark blue, dark green, white, and crystal look.
I do like the green too. I want to do a blue chrome though.
Oh, so we're looking at this kind of thing.
Because you guys saw this color, the green one, and I want to do a blue one.
So to get this effect where it's dark around here and then light in the middle, could you do something like a cat's eye thing?
What is with you? A cat's eye?
Cat's eyes and feathers and all these things that you don't want to do.
No, you know what? You can have that for your pick your own nails.
Pick my own nails? Yeah. I'm just saying that you could still have this kind of halo effect that's right here. Okay, do it your way.
I will.
I know.
I did want to quickly show you guys how easy it is to remove that snow globe nail that we did in my last set on my mom. So all I'm doing is taking my e-file here and just sanding down that big bulky chunk that we put on top of it. And I'm kind of using the tip of it to carve out around the snow globe as well as inside the metal bar thing. And then once I have it pretty well carved out, you can just take some old cuticle nippers and gently pull it out. It didn't hurt, it came out super smoothly, and my mom said that she was perfectly fine the entire time, but it was actually really easy to remove. I wanted to create the scenery nails on her 2 middle fingers, so her middle finger and her ring finger. So I'm going to take some of Light Elegance's Frosty Paws, which is a really nice pearl white, but it is kind of an off-white, like more of a creamy color. I'm going to apply this right at her tips, and you can see it's almost like a similar color to what her actual like natural nail tips are. Now, if you're going to do this, do the blue first. I always like to suggest doing like the darker pigmented colors first and then the lighter colors. Completely made a mistake there doing the white first. I'm going to take some of Amore's Baby Blue, which is a really nice, light, perfect winter blue. After I've cured the white, I'm going to take some of this blue from the cuticle and just kind of try and do like a messy ombre effect fading into that white. I find if you're going to do an ombre that doing the dark colors first works a heck of a lot better, but in all honesty, it doesn't overly matter for this design if they don't blend perfectly because we're going to clean it up in the end and ultimately we're going to stamp over top of it, so it's not a huge deal if they don't blend. We're going to do the exact same thing on her middle finger here, and we're just going to take some of that blue and we're going to start fading it from the cuticle down. But once you get closer to where you want the white, start doing like a dabbing motion as opposed to like painting it on. After you've cured the blue, go back in with some of the white and again, just do kind of a dabbing motion to fade it. Like I said previously though, it's not a huge deal if it doesn't blend properly. Light Elegance's Blizzard is actually one of my hands down favorite winter colors, and I can't believe I haven't talked about it this year yet, but it is a really pretty like grayish blue iridescent see-through type of glitter, and it's really nice to layer over top or use in combination of a glitter fade. So what I'm going to do with it is I'm going to put it right where the blue meets the white so that it kind of masks that messy transition that we did, but also once we get the top gloss on and the gel and stuff, these glitters are just going to kind of pop and pull through a little bit more. I knew I wanted that beautiful chrome color to go on her pinky nail. For some reason, I love having chromes on pinky nails, so it doesn't overly matter the color that you're using as a base, so I thought I would just continue to use this blue since I had it out already. Now, the problem is that we need to tie that into this design somehow, that really beautiful bright blue. Now, I didn't want that color to sit on the thumbnail by itself, so I'm going to take some of En Vogue's Silver Slippers, which is this beautiful metallic silver. It's almost like a molten silver type of color. It's so pretty, actually. I can't believe I haven't used it much more than I have. And I'm just going to cover this all over her entire thumbnail. Then we're going to go in with one of my favorite blue sparkles from Light Elegance. It came out in that Christmas collection that I talk about every single Christmas favorites video. It is called Glacier Blue. Glacier Blue is going to match that Social Claus chrome perfectly. Now, Glacier Blue is this really pretty frosty blue with like fine medium blue sparkles in it, but it also has holographic blue chunkies in it too. It is just the perfect like winter blue. I'm going to take some of the Glacier Blue and put it kind of in the corner offset on her thumbnails. You guys know I love doing this, especially because we're going to top it with some snowflake stamps too and add a little bit more to this nail. Now, I was a little bit concerned about adding this blue on top of the silver that you might not see it very well, but in all honesty, it actually worked really well, and I'm really happy with how it came together. My mom specifically requested an all sugar nail, so we decided to do this on her pointer finger. We are going to use a white sugar powder, so I thought I would use some of that Frosty Paws color and cover her entire nail with it. Again, it doesn't overly matter what you're going to do as the base, but you do want to keep it light if you're going to do a light sugared powder colored on top of it. We are going to embed all of my mom's gel colors here. I'm using Fusion 5 on both her middle finger and her pointer finger. Ignore her middle finger there. I just put way too much gel on it, and I'm going to finish file and correct that later on. Jumping ahead to the art here, we're going to take some of the sugar powders from Glitter Heaven, and I'm going to use the Selena Ride-In mini fan brush to kind of apply them. I got this tip from Sarah, and I don't know how Sarah makes it look so easy because I really struggle to get my sugar powders applied like this. I think I'm going to have to go back and watch and see exactly how she uses that technique. I apologize that this is kind of out of focus, but I'm taking some of my Light Elegance's tack and I'm applying it all over her pinky nail. What this is going to do is it's going to fill in any file marks or grooves before you go in with your chrome. After I cure that, I'm going to take some of my Wildflowers Tackless Top Coat. I'm going to cure it in my lamps for exactly 30 seconds. With chrome, you need to figure out what works best with your lamps and your top glosses, and I have found that 30 seconds works the best with the lamps and top glosses that I use. Now, taking some of the Social Claus blue pigment here, we're going to give this nail a really nice chrome finish. I love these Social Claus colored chromes. I think they're some of the best that I've ever used, and they're so pigmented, but not only that, they're so easy to use. I find that the best way to use chromes is with a super soft sponge, so I will leave these sponges that I use in the description box below. They are from Joe Fresh, and they are makeup sponges, but they're super soft, so I find that they work really well. On her middle finger and on her ring finger, I wanted to stamp kind of like creepy trees, but maybe not quite as creepy as we ended up doing them. I just wanted them to look like winter trees and winter branches. So I'm using the Shivers Plate from Clear Jelly Stamper, which came out with their Halloween ones. And there's a really nice little bush on there, and then there's a really nice tree. So I'm using these exact images over and over again on all 4 of her nails. I'm just kind of placing them a little bit different so that they look different and create different scenes on the nail. Ultimately, though, I want the ring finger and the middle finger to look like a continuation of the same scene. On her pinky chrome nail, I decided to stamp some of the layered snowflakes. So we're going to start with a silver center, and then we're going to stamp a white outline on top of it. My tip for stamping over top of chrome is to make sure that you top gloss first. This way, if you have any errors in your stamping, you can easily wipe it off without affecting the chrome. But not only that, you're not going to get any of the leftover pigments onto your stamper, which can cause it to kind of dull and go a little bit cloudy, which I didn't top gloss, so I'm just giving you guys what I would suggest you do. I follow this nail tech named Ashley Blair, and she posted these beautiful nails on her social media, and I loved how she just did the snowflakes kind of up the side, so I wanted to do that on my mom's thumbnail. Before we go in with any art on top of these scenery nails, we are going to top gloss them with the Beamy Matte. I thought that if we top gloss them with matte, then my original idea to do the icicles in like a really nice clear gel, the icicles would just pop on top of them. But you guys are going to see here that I actually tried to do what I had envisioned in my mind 3 times on my mom's nails, and they just were not working. So originally I wanted to do these really chunky 3D icicles using a super clear but also really thick gel, and I had a hard time finding a gel that was thick enough. They were all too runny and they all didn't give that 3D effect that I really wanted. So first we tried putting some sugar powder on top. I tried mixing some really nice light blue and then kind of painting the icicles after I'd cured them. I tried building them up a little bit more with some more of that gel, but no matter what I did, I just couldn't get what was in my mind to work on my mom's nails for these 3D icicle looks. I think that if we were to try this design and make 3D icicles, that it would be best to use something similar to the Wildflowers lace paste, but clear. And I'm gonna have to look to see if they have that, because I feel like that would be a good addition to add to my nail art collection. I also decided to try adding like some darker blue pigment to the icicles. Then I decided to go in and we were gonna do some pixies on top of it. So I'm taking some of my Ugly Duckling Stick It and painting the icicles down, and I'm gonna go in with the Cute Mood crystal pixies, which are a really nice white crystal pixie, and they didn't pop enough on top of the nails for my liking. So then we decided to go in with some of the silver crystal pixies, which I believe are called Starry Night, and both my mom and I agreed that these looked a lot better and kind of looked more like icicles, so that's what the end result ended up being. It can be kind of frustrating if you have an idea in your mind and you just want to execute it, but definitely try and have a backup plan, which is what the crystal pixies were. I always had it kind of in my mind that if my 3D icicles weren't going to work out, that I think I can make Swarovski crystal pixies kind of look a little bit like icicles. I've used Swarovski crystal pixies a lot in this series, and I've really enjoyed kind of stepping out of my comfort zone with them. Now that I have something that works really, really well for applying Swarovski crystal pixies and keeping them on, I love being able to incorporate them into more and more designs. So I'm trying to do the icicles a little bit different on every single nail, and I don't overly care if I cover up the scene, because when you guys saw that inspiration pic at the beginning of the video, the icicles are totally covering up the background scene, so the longer the icicles, the better they kind of looked in my opinion. Few tips for working with the Swarovski crystal pixies. The Ugly Duckling Stick It works amazing for holding them in. It's also nice because it's not too runny, so when you're trying to paint it on, it's not going to move anywhere. I also really like that when you are painting it on, if you are a little bit messy, it's not super big deal, because once you apply the crystal pixies, you can kind of push them around where you need them to be. Also make sure that when you're using the tray to dump the crystal pixies, that your tray is sitting right underneath the nails, or else the pixies are going to fly everywhere. I did want to add some Swarovski crystal stones to the center of her snowflake nails, so all I'm using here is the crystal color, which if you're looking for a really good color to start out with Swarovski crystals, get crystal and get crystal AB, because they will work with any design that you're trying to do. Last step is to add top gloss. So when you're top glossing over chrome, I like to suggest doing 2 coats. This way it'll help seal it in a little bit better. Now the only other nail that I needed to top gloss over was her thumbnail, because I don't want to top gloss over top of the sugar powders, and on her middle and her ring finger, they were both done in the matte top gloss already. So thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch this video. I hope it gave you some tips and tricks on how to work with chrome, how to apply some Swarovski crystal pixies, how to do some sugar powders, and ultimately, if your design doesn't work out, how to kind of have a backup plan and do something a little bit different. Make sure you head on over to Sarah's channel and see what she came up with for the icicle theme. Her like ring finger on her client's nails look really neat. I can't wait to see how she put that all together. I did want to take the time to make sure that I was thanking you guys so much for all the support that you had on this 12 Days of Christmas series. Honestly, Sarah and I put so much time and work and effort and planning into this series this year, but I feel like we were so much more better organized. There was no 3 a.m. editing sessions, and ultimately it went off like way better than last year behind the scenes standpoint. If I could continue doing this every single day, I would, except I'm not gonna lie, I'm tired. But I do appreciate all of your guys' support, your comments, your likes, your shares, your recreations. I love to see what you guys have done. So definitely, if you recreate anything that you've seen from our Christmas series, tag us on Instagram, because I love to share it and I love to see what you guys have done. I do have some really fun videos planned to kind of end the year with, so definitely stay tuned for those. Make sure you're following me on all of my social media, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!